Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again. As you can see, for the league start of Ultimatum, I did my best attempt at being some sort of scuffed Atziri. It was 2.5 hours of painting myself just before the league launch, so it was a pretty stressful, rough time for me, and I barely slept at all. And my schedule has been all over the place since then, so I just then came off the back of an 11-hour all-night stream, and I have to tell you about my current build, because it's pretty relevant from the starter stuff. So I went with Exsanguinate Elementalist, and it's been playing like a dream. So you can see right from the start, this is Exsanguinate once I'm, about level 40, just getting into Act 4, and it's pretty smooth sailing as soon as you pick up Chain. When you pick it up at level 12, it doesn't do anything too special. It's a decent skill. It, can help do more DPS than many other things, but it's nothing too special. Once you get Chain, that's when it really starts to clear and feel like an insane skill. And then once you get the Corrupted Blood, Corrupted Fever I think it's called, from level 16, you don't get it as a witch, unfortunately. You have to buy it from someone else. That allows you to start stacking up Corrupted Blood on enemies as well. It's not at all relevant for clear, but it does help for single target. And at this point in the game, in the video, my character has Unleash as well. So I've combined my Exsanguinate with Unleash and Chain for huge clear potential, and just about every cast is going to be shooting out 3 Sanguinates, and that means that we're either one-shotting or stacking up our blood or damage over time and corrupted blood very quickly, and it seems to be completely shitting on the game. It has done very well up to now, up to tier 3, tier 4. I haven't really gone any further than that, obviously, since I'm pretty, slow about this sort of stuff, but I hit about level 84 or something at this point and was like 5k life basically when I got to level 70, so it's a pretty thick character at the moment. The life regen from Stone Golem absolutely takes care of all of our life mana cost for the skill and also for the corrupted blood itself, so it has been working out as I wanted it to. As an elementalist, we do get plenty of damage, cast speed, and regen from our golems, and then a little bit of extra thickness as well. We can definitely build a bit thicker. I think the character should have about 6k life at least in the long term, but you can kind of do whatever you want with these. And I know that a lot of people have been playing Reap as well, and that is pretty similar in how you can build the character. So we could put Reap on my character 1-for-1. I tried it out, didn't like it quite as much, but I really wanted to play this skill anyway, so I'm sticking to it. But plenty of people are doing it with Spell Slinger, so that you're just shooting both of the skills at once whenever you attack with a wand, and it's probably the meta way of using these skills in a much faster sense. But at this stage of the game, for my character, with the amount of damage and bleed and stuff I've got, with Chain support and with Unleash, I'm absolutely loving my clear, and also my single target damage isn't too bad. And then we can swap out Chain for something a bit more single targety, and in this case that is going to be Swift Affliction, and then we'll probably want to get rid of Unleash long term for single target as well. But currently I'm not really worrying about swapping stuff around too much, since our DPS seems to be more than enough, at least at this stage. So as you can see, my starter here is going pretty damn well. So if you're looking to try one of the new skills, Exsanguinate, and as an elementalist, seems to be kind of a winner, at least up till this point. Very smooth starter, and I will go over just what I've done for the character so far and how I've built it. So here is our little character, level 83 at Zerethil, elementalist, as I previously mentioned, and it is pretty much exactly as I outlined in the starter video. Nothing's really changed, just a bit hard to get a hold of some items, and there's been a few little gem swaps and stuff. But for the passive tree, I think it's almost exactly as I said it would be. Haven't really diverted at all as far as I can see, except for just trying to do some cluster stuff. So I started out when I first started leveling just going up here, grabbed the life nodes, and then went straight to the Templar tree, went straight down, went left and picked up these nodes, went right and picked up these nodes. Then you can start grabbing life. You can go for golem stuff. I went to the golem up here, I think immediately after, because that's when I was ready to pick up my first ascendancy point, and that was the golem. So then I could get a stone golem and a lightning golem for a bit of cast speed. The next golem after that is going to be flame golem, and then currently I've also been running chaos golem. Once you can get an anima stone and a primordial chain, that's when you can start running more golems, just for buff effect. We've already got the important buffs from the current golems. We then picked up always shock, and that's pretty damn good for damage. And if you can get an impulsor, which you can't, they're pretty expensive, you can start exploding things as well. Build currently has no explosion, doesn't really bother me, but you could fit that in if you really needed to. And then my last 2 points, still not quite sure what I'm going to do, maybe the Aegis, but could end up doing this. I'll think about it more when we get there. But as I said, basically done exactly as I said I would do. Picked up a 10 minion passive jewel just because that's all that was available, and rolled primordial bond, so there that is. Grabbed any old physical damage over time jewel, rolled something useful on that, and that's brush with death, and then grabbed a small cluster for life and put on surging vitality. So that's what we're dealing with. As far as the gear is concerned, most of it's pretty shit. The important stuff is going to be your weapon, maybe your shield. So in this case we grabbed a cold iron point, which costs 28C, and it's probably going to be best in slot for us until we can craft at the very high end anyway. And grabbed a +1 physical spell shield. You can dual wield these though if you really want to, maximum DPS. Otherwise we've got ourselves a 5-link, just whatever we got from the ultimatum. Some real scuffed gear everywhere else, I guess. A bit of life, bit of resist, life resist, life resist, life resist, life resist, life resist. And then I grabbed a warlord's base amethyst ring, and since I found a harvest, I just threw that in there to get vulnerability on hit. But you don't really need that too much. I was self-casting vulnerability whenever I needed it, and on top of that, we've actually discovered that using something like Stormbrand is actually pretty damn potent with this Corrupting Fever skill. So first of all, let me talk about Exsanguinate. My current link for that is Efficacy, that's your first one. You then go Controlled Destruction. We then grab Chain for clear, and then Unleash was my 5th link, and then we swap out Swift Affliction over Chain for single target. So the 4 link for me was that with Chain, and that's what it looks like. Once you get Unleash, you can then stack up more seals and shoot out more of them at once, and it just feels a bit better for clear. We then have our Corrupting Fever in a 4 link as well. That's on Efficacy, Brutality, and Swift Affliction. And also my 6th link over here will be Brutality. But what Corrupting Fever does is, you know, it functions similar to a Blood Rage. It's a buff you just turn on and it'll refresh based off of something. So we turn it on and it costs a bunch of life to start with. As you can see, it's going to last about 10 seconds and it will just go away unless you spend life to re-enable it. So that's how it's going to keep going. But what it does is it makes all of our hits, any sort of hits, apply Corrupting Blood. And it is scaled off of these damage over time, so it becomes fairly potent. As you can see, it says 13,000 damage per second, and you can stack them up 10 times. So in the end, that's probably going to be carrying kind of our single target, and that means that you can use something like Stormbrand. Any of our hits are going to be stacking this Corrupting Blood. It stacks up to 10 times, so with our current Exsanguinate sort of setup, we won't get it to 10 very quickly, but you can use something like a Stormbrand just as an example. There are plenty of other things as well to get the stacks ramping really quickly. You can even just plain clear with the Stormbrand if you really want, as long as your Corrupting Fever is up. So if you don't have a Curse on Hit ring yet, you can just easily put Stormbrand, Hex Touch, and Vulnerability, and then start using it for bosses, and that is where you get a lot of your ramp from anyway. That's pretty much, I think, all I need to say about it so far. That's all we've really figured out in these early stages. I also replaced Pride with Malevolence at this point, and I'm not really using Vitality at the moment. I was early on, but currently not really doing much of it, just running Herald of Purity. And that's, I think, all I need to say. Otherwise, the starter build video did everything, and it's pretty basic at this point. Nothing too fleshed out. Haven't done too much of high content, and I need to get to sleep. So that's probably all I'll say. Exsanguinate, I do recommend it as this build as well. It's been very good so far. I hope everything else for you guys is going terrifically. And the league launch was a very scuffed day one. It's been a better day two so far. Hope it's going well for you guys. Hope to see you in the next video and the next streams. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.